Shopify SEO Services Review 2022. Hey guys, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about Shopify SEO Services, which means as search engine optimization. So we're gonna be talking about, is it good for search engine optimization? Unless you are a massive social media influencer or have a large curated list of content to sell to, you'll need to rely on organic search engine traffic to sell online, just like an ice cream maker depends on Sunday days. That's why, before purchasing Shopify, you should really check their SEO options and see if the limitation it has will be a deal breaker for you. So, to help you even further, I have put together in this guide outlining the things you need to know about Shopify's SEO. Okay, so first just quickly check out that what do people have to say about Shopify's SEO. So I'm gonna go to Google. Now I'm gonna type in over here that what do people have to say about Shopify's SEO. Let me do that real quick. So as I have opened its review, it is telling over here that some people seem to love this source builder's SEO features and others recommend steering away from it. But when digging a bit more, one can see that the negative comments are merely about the lack of advanced SEO features, most of which have been added in the recent year. For example, automatic 301 redirects on URL changes. Yes. So I'm just talking about the basic things which the experts complain about SEO are like three, which are that it is difficult to edit URL structures. Number two is that you don't get to access to robots.txt, although you can ignore this as editable robots.txt files are now available in Shopify. Also, sitemaps are generated automatically, so you can't edit them. But overall, most of the users, as you can also see over here, are mostly happy with the Shopify's SEO. So the next question which arises is that are there any Shopify stores that are successful at SEO? But of course, the best way to prove if Shopify's options are good enough to rank in Google and to look for actually Shopify shops doing it well in search engines. So for instance, what you can do is you can check it out. The number one app which I'm recommending is Minze. According to RFs, this online toy retailer is doing quite well organically. It even has good ranking for relatively higher traffic keywords like beer brick, a Japanese toy. Even Kim Kardashian herself seems to have heard about Shopify goodness and has conquered some interesting beauty related keywords with her. Another really successful example of a well-performing Shopify shop is Tattly. I'm gonna search that here for you guys. Yeah, so www.tattly.com. As you guys can see that over here it is having the things it is providing us with, and on the left side there are the customer reviews. So you can see that the temporary tattoo online store has great ranking for competitive keywords like temporary tattoos, all this. So there are great review for this too. Finally, the Shopify hosted store package free. There is also another thing which is called as a package free. Let me just search that for you as well. So this is another shop which is among the top 3 search results for keywords such as zero packaging store, zero waste shop, and plastic free products, helping to draw in over 20,000 organic visitors every month. So you have seen the proof that Shopify seems to do well with the SEO, at least for some. So let's just go back to our Shopify. Okay, so coming back to this page, the first thing we're going to discuss is Shopify's SEO pros. The number one which I think is that it is easy to implement, meaning that most of the page SEO implementations are really easy to carry out as their backend is very initiative. The second one I think is that it is fully SEO armed. Shopify comes with the main SEO option that most store owners need. For example, we are having the automatic sitemap generation. We're also having canonical instructions. Then we're having the personalized URLs, redirects, customizable title tags, and editable robot text file. Then the main, I think the feature it is providing us and the main advantage is its speed. That Shopify is an agile system, and if you choose a lightweight template, all the free themes are your online store will load fast. For example, if I go onto the product right over here or the orders, and if I click on the templates and I'm gonna create a template over there, so it's gonna be having a great speed. The number time next is the uptime. They have a good uptime. This has a positive effect on e-commerce. Number next is support, which means that having reliable support to contact your when in doubt is a great thing for SEOs and apps. So there are many useful apps that can make your life easier. Talking about the cons of Shopify is that strings in URLs. I already told you about the cons of SEO in Shopify. Also, there is one another is that there are no subcategories out of the box. It's possible to create subcategories, but Shopify calls them sub collections. So I personally think that Shopify's pros outweigh the cons. It's not the system with the most flexibility, but it is dead simple to use. In my opinion, its SEO disadvantages will only bother those Shopify store owners that really want to have absolute control over the on-pages optimization. Sitemaps are generally not things most store owners would need to touch anyway. Okay, so if we're talking, next thing I'm going to talk about is the typical mistakes in Shopify tips. As you can imagine, as at work, I get lots of messages from the users. A lot of these comments are people experiencing SEO issues and blaming it on their tool. But I'd say that 90% of the time, these problems are related to the online store or website creation tool themselves, but the SEO implementation. Usually I see the number one is that missing on the page SEO. Believe it or not, I come across many users that don't bother filling their title tags, creating customized URLs, or who don't take the time to fill in the all attribute for images. Number two is keyword research. Only readers like me enjoy doing keyword research. I get it. Looking at endless rows of numbers and terms is not everybody's favorite hobby. But the reality is that if you would like to go successful at SEO, you need to get your keywords right. I would say that 50% or more of the people don't look at this or don't do it properly. Number three is the bad. There is no set of rules that define bad content. However, we all recognize it at once when we see it. Having a Shopify site free of spelling and grammar mistakes, uses multimedia content, for example, images and videos, and having excellent copy is a good place to start. Number four is image-based content. Don't paste text on images, for example, using Photoshop. That text will go unnoticed by search engines. Their algorithms can't understand images. So this is probably the most repeated mistake among beginners. Okay. So now if we're talking about the next thing I'm going to talking about is about the features of Shopify. So the first feature I think it provides is the page title. So you can see that over here we are creating a product. So let's just get started into its features. So the first thing it is providing us over here is the page title, as I told you earlier. So the title is shown in the SERPs search result as a main heading for a page. So you can write in a title like sleeve shirt. Like for example, if I go onto the Google and I search of their sleeve shirts or whatever that, and then they will appear in front of me, the shirts will appear in front of me. So that is basically the title. So you can write in over the title. Yes, and it is editable and everything. Okay, so the next thing over here it's providing us is the description. We can write in a description for our product, like what is it all about, for example, its color, its size, its design and everything. We can write all about that. And we can also add in an image by tapping in over here. We can insert a video, we can insert the table. Okay, going down there to the media. So what over here is that you can add in a file, add from URL. So you can have personalized URLs. Your page URL is another really important Google ranking factor. Having the targeted keyword in it should be a priority for you. For example, it will also add extra strings, for example, products and news to URLs. And it is also editable in the Shopify. So it's also will be providing a heading structure. Heading helps you structure your content. Google and other search engines rely on them to understand the structure of your better page. So the next thing is that you can also customize images. Search engines can't understand images. They read the HTML or LT text of your images to know what they're about. It's also editable in Shopify. Yes. Okay, so talking about the other features it is providing us that we can write in the type of the organization, the vendor, collections. We can also add tags to our Shopify, so that that could be an easy way to like see your products on the website. We can also having the inventory where we can write the stock keeping unit. We can have the barcode, which is in ISBN, UPC, GTIN, as I told you earlier. We can also have the location name, then we can have the shipping, and then we can have the customs information and all that stuff. If I talk about the tags again, so it is an advanced feature that will help you deal with pages offering similar content. With them, you can tell search engines that what page should be indexed and avoid losing Google rankings because of duplicated content. Shopify adds canonical tags to certain pages automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, then they're also providing us with structured data, a way to provide further information to search engines about your Shopify. For example, start ratings or dates in Google engine. Yes. Okay, Another thing is analytics. If I'm going on to the analytics, so here it's telling us about it's gonna be providing us with different analytics about the total sales, sessions, returning customer rate, all that. So Google Analytics will allow you to check your site performance and track your visitor behaviors. Be aware that this won't have a direct impact on your search engine ranking, but it's a great source of information to improve your Shopify store. So that was basically all about, I think, about the Shopify SEO services review. If we talk about the product pages, it's having the title tag, it's having the URL too. There's a meta description. There was no index, heading structure, type of page, title tag, and all that stuff. So next I'm going to be talking about what are the popular and useful Shopify apps. As I've been mentioning throughout this Shopify review, that there are many apps that can help you with your e-commerce SEO. These apps will basically make advanced configuration easier. Structured data is crucial for online stores. For example, rich snippets can boost your click-through rate. You can find apps to add structured data easily to your Shopify store, even for free. Okay, but the most popular one is SEO Manager, who does this and much more. However, it's not cheap. Currently, it costs about $20 per month. Another interesting Shopify apps is Minifer, which are the great apps to identify your Shopify store's SEO issues. Number 3 is Reload SEO. It is a keyword research tool that will make the research process faster. Okay. Lastly, there is a question, for example, which will head into your mind, then how does Shopify's SEO compare to other website builders? If you're still evaluating different e-commerce platforms for your online store, you might be wondering how Shopify SEO features compare to those offered by its competitors. So, number 1 is Wix good for SEO? The Wix e-commerce platform is packed with features and has some useful SEO options. URLs, titles, and descriptions can all be edited, and there are handy tools such as the SEO Wiz and an automated SEO patterns generator. In fact, a lot of features are similar to Shopify's, including the ability to set up 301-degree directs. But some of the drawbacks are similar too, such as the fact that you don't get 100% control over product page URLs, for example. Okay, so there are many other things like is BigCommerce good for? BigCommerce is similar to Shopify. Then there is also WooCommerce. It's the world's biggest e-commerce plugin, and because it's built for the ever versatile WordPress, WooCommerce potential for search engine optimization is more popular than any of its competitors. The last question which comes in your mind is Shopify good for SEO? So yes, there are numerous examples of well-performing Shopify sites. Shopify cannot be that bad. Number 2, in my view, Shopify will satisfy 90% of the users right off the box. Number 3, you may need an app if you need a lot of SEO customization, and if you don't want to, they may take an extra cost. And number 4, finally, it can be ignored that Shopify has some SEO flaws, mostly related to having an inflexible system, for example, URL appended strings. But overall, I'm satisfied with the Shopify's SEO capabilities. You can also see how these capabilities compare to the online store builders. So that was all for today. Let me know in the comment section below if this video helped you guys and this review. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.